What's up YouTube and welcome to KangBrosTV. Liverpool 3, Huddersfield 0. Boom! Bruv. It feels good, bruv, to get back on a winning streak after those two horrible performances, bro. How does it feel, man? Do you remember what it feels like to win?
It felt like a long time, but yeah, it's decent to get a victory. Just before we go any further, I just want to put it out there. There was a certain message I left in my last video. It was for an Arsenal fan. Don't worry, I ain't forgotten. I will be coming for you towards the end of this video, but carry on.
Arsenal fans, be careful, be careful. So anyway, let's kick this thing off, yeah? It was a great win.
Yeah.
Let's start with Emery, because obviously I slaughtered Emery in the last video. Everybody knows how I feel about Emery, but when you put in a great performance for Liverpool, you give the guy credit.
Listen, no. It's not a great performance. It's not a great performance. Is very, very heavy, strong words.
No, but in comparison to his last game, even Klopp just said that.
Yeah, and I get that. But like I said, don't get me wrong. And we've said it before. If someone plays well, you give them plaudits and credit where it's due.
Yeah.
Let's not get it twisted. It wasn't like he was flipping, some sort of worldy player. He was better than what it was before, and it's not hard. Props where it was due because he did do some good things today.
Yeah.
But let's not, there's still. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden my opinion changes on the guy saying, "Oh no, you take it all back."
Yeah, like I said, everyone knows my opinion on Emery, but at the end of the day, he scored a goal, and I think his tackles for that goal was beautiful. Even though it took a deflection, I'm not going to take that away from him. His head was over the ball, his technique was beautiful, and he struck that, and he was there, right? And he was there for the penalty, which he made, and he had some good balls over the top as well, which Mane, I think it was Mane at the end of it, should have scored. But for me, what was the difference today? Why? I mean, we knew Huddersfield were going to defend. They did defend, but why is it that we were better today in comparison to West Brom and Swansea?
Do you know what I think? I kind of feel that they should have done it as well. But Swansea and West Brom, we made that point as well very clear that they didn't sit back to defend. I mean, they didn't sit back and think, oh, you know what, let's just sit behind the ball. They actually tried to take the game to Liverpool at times. When the opportunity presented itself, they tried to go and get a goal. And I think that was the difference. Because today, don't get me wrong, we won the game 3-0, and it's a bit like the Swansea game at home. You get one goal, and it settles everybody down, and then you can dominate the ball, and you can dominate possession. So the difference today was we got that first goal, slightly fortuitous with the deflection, but you can't take that away. It was a good strike, and you buy a ticket, and that's how you win the lottery and all that sort of stuff. You got the goal, and it kind of settled everybody down. But even still, I didn't feel comfortable when the game started. I was a bit like, not again. That's what I was thinking. But we got the goal. But the only difference was I just felt that Huddersfield didn't even have a go, They didn't even have a... Whenever they did put the ball in the box, and it took till the second half, even at that point, everyone was like, ooh, you weren't comfortable,
I agree with you. I think Huddersfield were poor today. This is a perfect time.
Really bad.
Yeah, this is a perfect time to get at Liverpool today, and they weren't doing it. Maybe because I don't know, Wagner and Klopp are boys in that, and Wagner just thought, you know what, don't worry, I got you.
He basically thought, if I lose this job at Huddersfield, as long as I keep Klopp happy, I've got number 2 job sorted. You know what I mean? They're gonna sack Mickey Flanagan, that one that Liverpool got in there at the moment, that sits on a bench next to
Mickey Flanagan,
that sits next to Klopp, and they're gonna bring Wagner in. But no, I really thought Huddersfield was just disappointing, really disappointing. I thought.
You can see by the Huddersfield fans as well. I mean, they were getting frustrated. Yeah. There was a couple of times they pressed the ball and they were like, thank fuck, some people was actually here. So for me, I think Huddersfield made it very, very easy for Liverpool, and they just allowed them to play. I think one person for me that made a big difference for me was Milner today. I noticed that in the middle. For me, I think he gave a lot of cover for defence, and he was all over the place.
Yeah, we've got one dedicated. At least one dedicated subscriber. Who, shout out. He always drops us a note. Listen, that's your guy. I know you wanted him in a wing-back position and getting balls into the box, but today he started the game. And for me, I know that Emre Can got given man of the match, and it helps if you score. And obviously he was involved with the pen, so you can't really argue with it too much because he was the man of the match in that sense. I thought Milner was brilliant today. He gave that defence some protection. So he kind of snuffed a lot of things out, and he's very quick thinking. He got the ball moving. So I think Milner was really good, and he gave us that gave us a bit of solidity that we needed.
I mean, the thing is, what I want to. After the West Brom game, there were so many Liverpool fans who actually start talking shit about getting Jurgen Klopp out. They start saying, I don't watch Liverpool again. These kind of fans, I mean, obviously, I know it's frustrating to support Liverpool and it can get very emotional. But come on, guys. Now, we just heard about the Arsenal defeat. You're 8 points ahead of Arsenal. You're 5 points ahead of Tottenham, and they're playing tomorrow against Man United. So we've just lost one game in the league. it's not so bad as people made it out to be.
Nah, see, this is what, this is what I mean. You really wind me up with stuff like this, yeah?
Go on.
Because you're like, oh yeah, it's not so bad, it's not so bad. Listen, I'm not the sort of person that's going to throw my toys out and say, oh yeah, I'm not watching Liverpool again.
That's my point. That's what I'm trying to say.
Just wait. What I'm saying is, you drop points against Swansea, yeah? It's a game, that for me is inexcusable. You cannot, they're bottom of the league, and I know they beat Arsenal tonight, but that's not saying much, really. Arsenal fans, you know that's true, but it's not saying much at the moment. So, like, Arsenal are in a bad state. Yeah. So don't compare yourself to the worst. Compare yourself to teams at the top. Other teams have dispatched Swansea, and we should have been dispatching Swansea and opening up a points gap. So I don't care what you say. Oh, it's not too bad. I don't want to hear that. Yeah, because all I'm saying is, if they'd won that game, they'll be the same points as Man United. If they didn't drop points against Watford earlier in the season, they'll be where they are. I don't know it's ifs and buts, and if my uncle had a pair of whatnots. Do you know what I mean? It's all that sort of stuff, but. The way I see it is, I'm not having that. It's not so bad. It is. It's not good enough. You should not be dropping points at Swansea. I'm happy today. I know it doesn't sound like I am, but I'm very happy that we've won the game, and it's great to build up that gap. And Manchester United are going to play Tottenham tomorrow, and it's like, right, well, either way, we're kind of a win-win. If Tottenham lose, we get points. We get some, a bit of a barrier between us and them. If Man United lose, although Tottenham close the gap, but we're closer to them. So it's one of those. It's a bit of a free hit. To a certain extent, but if we had beaten Swansea, which is a game we should not be losing, even if we picked up a point, you'd be pissed, but you'd be like, we've taken a point, right? But to get beat by that team, so I'm sorry, but I'm not having that. But carry on.
No, my point, what I'm trying to say, is that people were saying Jurgen Klopp out. I'm talking about it's a disaster. It's not the end of the world. That's what I'm trying to say. As a Liverpool fan, your team is not going to win every single game. So I'm saying there's going to be times where you're going to lose a game. You can't just that's our third defeat, the same as Man City and the same as United. So one point I'm trying to make, I agree with you completely. We should not be losing against Swansea. We shouldn't be losing against West Brom. We should be competing for silverware, right? But what I'm trying to say is, we're still 8 points ahead of Arsenal, and we're still 5 points ahead of Tottenham. That's my point. I get what you're saying. We should not be losing those games. But at the end of the day, it's not like the end of the world. That's how some of the Liverpool fans are going.
Listen,
you get the point I'm trying to make?
I do, but I still don't. I get your point. I still don't agree with you because you're talking about points. That we can't expect to win every game. We're not going to expect to win every game. I get that, but the difference between us and a lot of other teams is we've drawn a lot of unnecessary games. And that comes. That's why my frustration is you can't accept me being mediocre. You can't accept that. You got to think about it. You got to try and look to be better and go up against the teams that are better than you, and try and how do we get there? I don't look at Tottenham and Arsenal. Tottenham, because obviously they're real close to us, but I don't look at Arsenal because look what Arsenal are. They're 8 points off of it. I don't care about Arsenal. Do what you got to do to get yourself fifth or whatever, but we got to look to be consolidating fourth and pushing on. That's my point. And I just think that although it was a good performance today, there are certain points in games that we should have been winning, and we shouldn't be in the situation where we are now. And being said, oh, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Yeah, it's not so bad, but it should be. We should be better off. It's our own fault, bad decisions, and some lackluster performances that have led to us being in that situation. But again, I don't want to be negative on a night where we've actually won and done well. But that actually leads us quite nicely onto the next point, and that is a guy that's starting to really frustrate me. Again, it's annoying because it was his flick to set up Firmino's goal. But Sadio Mane at the moment, I don't know what's wrong with the guy.
He, for me, was stand out the worst player on that pitch for us. I mean, like you said, he made the goal for Firmino, but for me, he seems lost. He wasn't. I think in the first 25 minutes, I actually asked you, is Mane actually playing? I don't know what's going on with Mane right now. And he, even the ball that Emery put over for him
twice.
If he was free on goal and he just flunked it
twice.
And there was one. I think he kicked it wide, and there was a few options he could have done. So I don't think Mane's head is fully there right now, unless he's being played out of position or he doesn't. I'm not sure. What do you think is it with it?
I don't know what it is, but that is something for me that we talked about the other day, and it highlights the point. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because he feels a little bit a lot more comfortable in his position. I mean, Lallana's fitness is a worry. Mm-hmm. So I know everyone's like, oh yeah, we've still got Lallana to come back, but his fitness for me would be a concern. But I think he's a little bit comfortable. I think he's a little bit more comfortable. That's why he's a bit like. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, what are you going to do? You're going to drop me? Yeah, go on, who you going to put in there? That's kind of the mentality I get at the moment. And confidence is a big thing. I think his confidence is like here or there. He seems to be a confidence player. When he's hot, he's real hot. But at the moment, he just seems so off it. And maybe if other fans are watching this and disagree with me, please tell me what you think, because I'm at a loose end with the guy. I think we need. I mean, Lucas Moura, for example, going to Spurs. I mean, for 25 million in this market is a snip, in my opinion. And if you look at Liverpool's, spending in comparison to what they've earned over the years of the transfers, when everyone's like, you spent 75 million on Van Dijk, but look at the amount of money that we've bought in for players. So I don't mind if they spend some money on players. We don't mind that as fans. It's the money that we've recouped as a club for our assets, so we should be able to spend it. Lucas Moura would make Sadio Mane look at himself and think, right, I better back up my ideas, because we've got somebody else on the bench who is of quality, who's got experience in the right, in those big teams or in those environments, and that make him think twice. Freshen up the dressing room, freshen up the squad. That's for me where it goes back to that point about transfers, and it's not always buying somebody to start, but you're buying somebody to be in the first 15, 16 players who's going to freshen up the squad and make someone like Mane think, better back up my ideas. Mo Salah, better back up my ideas. I mean, obviously not slagging him off at all, because he's been fantastic this year, but of late, I'd say his form's dipped a little bit. He's allowed to, he's only human, but if you've got a Moura coming on, or if you've got someone like that, who's Draxler, it would be lovely, but if we've got those sort of players on there, then you kind of know, right, well, it's always a chance that I could be out the side.
So we got 1 day left for the transfer window. Do you think we will buy anybody? And I've answered this question before, and I want to hear from fans. We've only literally got 1 day left, and do you think anything's going to happen?
Unfortunately, I don't, because we're not even linked with anybody. It's not like, sometimes when you wake up and you see something on the internet, you're like, oh, listen, guess what, we're linked to? We're not even linked to anybody. Manchester City have bought that Laporta and they're linked with Mahrez. They've got Mahrez handed in transfer requests. Why aren't we linked with Mahrez, for a start? Chelsea, I think they're looking at getting Giroud. They've just signed that left back from Roma. Tottenham are getting Lucas Moura. Arsenal, Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan. Obviously, Manchester United have probably done the best business in getting Sanchez, because I think he is that good. And we've bought a Scottish fullback from like the second tier in Scotland. Just do you know what? Please, if anybody watches this, please, someone just lie to me. Just lie to me. Tell me that we're linked with somebody. Just tell me, like, there's some Brazilian wonder kid that's on a... Just tell me something, because at the moment, there's nothing. And we really need to freshen up the squad, I think.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen, right? We know what Klopp's like. Klopp is always going to buy his player that he wants, and I think in the summer is most likely when you'll buy it. For me, I agree with you. We need to buy somebody. We need some fresh blood in there. For me, I always thought if Coutinho's going, there's going to have to be a replacement. I always thought that maybe Lamar's going to be coming in, or someone like you said, Mahrez. The fact that we're not linked to anyone, Klopp's made it pretty clear that he's not going to get anyone, at least he's got something underneath his sleeve. But I personally don't think we're going to get anybody. It's going to be a boring day for us on the January transfer window again, I believe. Yeah. The last point we're going to make on the Liverpool game was the subs. Now, for me, we're leading 3-0, and I've had an issue with Klopp and the subs, and he's done it again for me. I think we were very much in control of the game, and then he brought on Ox and Genie. He's brought on people like Solanke and Ings in games that we need something to happen really quickly. Don't you think this would be the perfect opportunity to bring on somebody a bit earlier? I mean, what is Solanke going to do in 3 minutes? I just don't get it.
Stop his time.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
Yeah, I think the subs still is annoying, because... I mean, I'm a bit of a critic of those guys, because I don't think, for me, I'd love to have someone with more quality on the bench, to come off and make an impact. But at the end of the day, if you're a quality striker and you're going to get 3 minutes against Huddersfield when you're 3-0 up, well, he ain't going to be happy. So, it's something that I guess is an area for Klopp to potentially work at. But another thing before I forget, actually, something that was on my mind today, and I was watching the game, and I was actually clapping the screen. I've made points about it before, is that when we're winning games of football, we never take the sting out of the game. We're just trying to fucking pass, move. Today, Karius, well done. He stopped, he wasted time, he waited for the fans to start booing, waited for the ref to hurry him up, the subs, when they were coming off, strolling off, walking off
Salah
slowly.
Just walked off slowly.
Keepers catching the ball, going down, and then taking the 6 seconds and stuff like that.
That's what we need to be doing for games.
Finally, especially games like Huddersfield, which could be a potential banana skin. At 2-0, if they get a goal, they're probably likely to score again.
It was the first time I saw it.
I'm going to take the credit for that. I'm sure they watch these videos, right?
All right, so let's finish up on our beloved Arsenal fans.
I'm going to jump in first, yeah? He knows who he is. He's a very good friend of mine. As soon as Liverpool got beat against Swansea, he sent me a message. Can't wait to see what KangBrosTV's got in store for me. Well, let me tell you what KangBros have got in store for you tonight. Your team is dead. You're dead. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got Aubameyang. Don't worry. Ozil's. This is his words. Ozil's next level. Ozil's next level. What happened? What happened?
We'll wait.
3-1. You know what? There's a beating, yeah? You got tucked in. You got tucked in by Swansea, yeah? So Arsenal fans, listen, I've never actually had a problem with Arsenal, yeah? Because I actually quite like Arsenal as a team. I think, you know, everything's cool with them. But all of a sudden, when things were going a bit rocky for Liverpool, they were the first ones, oh yeah, we're going to get Aubameyang, yeah? And then watch. Watch what, bro? He didn't turn around. He ain't even come. He's going to say to his private jet, let's just turn around, go back. I'll make it up to those mans. Talking shit to me, bro. It's very frustrating, you know, to hear messages from Arsenal people. I could take criticism, yeah, and I could. If a Man City fan texts me, I'll be like, you know what, fair play. Yeah. Man United as well. Sometimes I'm like, you know what, say what you want about Man United, but they are where they are. They're doing their thing, yeah. Chelsea, you know, the manager is a nutter like ours. I like that. I like that guy, yeah. Tottenham fans, bro, Tottenham frighten me. They scare me because sometimes they're so good. But Arsenal, you man are
8 points behind.
8 points.
Soon as we lost, I was same thing. I had Arsenal fans ringing me. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Now, I mean, it's good. I mean, when I saw the result, I was literally laughing.
Yeah.
And
I sent my boy Snapchat. Listen. Take it easy, yeah? I'll speak to you soon.
Anyway, thanks for everyone for watching. Let us know your take on the game today. Well, our next game is Tottenham on the weekend, and that's a big game, and we obviously normally turn up for those games, so I look forward to it. And yeah, comment, share, subscribe. Peace.